Well, welcome back to Scouting for History. My first permission of the day didn't pan out. There was nobody home, and they gave me a vague description of the house. So with no one there, I didn't feel right digging in somebody's yard without confirming that I was at the right house. So then I went to the second house, but everything was modern, nothing really interesting. So I bailed on there, and now I'm back to this old barn, and next door is the old farm. These are from the early 1800s. I pulled a bunch of large cents and silver and shoe buckle and all kinds of stuff from this yard. So now I've got the legend, the settings better figured out. Let's see what I missed. Stay tuned. High 30s, low 40s. Let's see what it is. This dirt is great for digging. And the first signal of the day is a coin. And it is very, very green, whatever it is. Well, I'm gonna have to clean that up and see what it is. It could be just a Lincoln. I don't know. We'll see. On to the next. Well, second target of the day. It's an old Jefferson. I'll have to clean up, see if I can get a date off of it, but it was down there pretty deep. And I missed it before, so hey, let's see what else I missed. On to the next. Well, with my new program, on the Legend, I have it set to all metal mode and 6 tones. So the iron typically is the lowest grunt, but then there's some things that fall in a higher grunt. Usually they're foil. Woohoo! But sometimes they're not. Could be a half dime. Wow. No. It's almost as good. Wow. That is that's a 3-cent nickel. Also, that's way up on my bucket list. Outstanding. I'll clean it up. You'll see it right here. Oh, I missed that before because I had I was ignoring anything under a nickel sound. But you never know. Sometimes those trash signals aren't trash. So that deserves one of these. On to the next. And then down here, ringing around a 20, it's an old flat button. That's early 1800s, easily. I'll clean it off, see if there's any kind of design on it. I don't think so. Cool. On to the next. Another mid-tone in here somewhere. Could be a nickel, could be another button. or it could be a beaver tail. Yikes. Well, it's not all treasure. On to the next. Well, a nice deep signal, and I believe it's the tiniest little padlock I've ever found. I'll clean up, see if I can figure anything out about it. But that's cool. On to the next. Well, if you're like me, you like watching videos about metal detecting. If you're addicted to it like I am. And in those videos, a lot of people find ox knobs. And this was a dairy farm back in the early 1800s. So I'm really surprised I hadn't found one until now. My very first ox knob, it's a day of firsts in a place I've hunted to death. But this is good. I'm really learning the legend, and it's sniffing out things that I missed before. But the one thing about that 3-cent nickel, it rings really low, like a 16 to an 18 in the foil range, and that's just because it's so small. And it's made of the same thing that nickels are. So nickels ring up around a 24 to 26, somewhere in that range. So because it's lighter, it just rings a little lower than that. So dig it all. On to the next. Well, these new settings may be too good. That's about 5 inches down. And it's a tiny, tiny little nut. That's just nuts. On to the next. Well, just when I thought the finds couldn't get any better, is the most beautiful little bell. I'll leave the dirt in there till I get home and clean it up. That considering we're on a dairy farm, I'm gonna assume that that's a cowbell. More cowbell, please. I'll clean it up. You'll see it right here. That is awesome. That's my first real bell. On to the next. Pretty sure it's a fired bullet. I'll clean it up. You'll see it right here. On to the next. And another really low tone. Down here, pretty deep in the hole. Turns out to be this really old, beautiful key. Outstanding. I love old keys and old locks and old coins and pretty much anything old. On to the next. But then sometimes those signals in the teens are just foil. On to something good. Pretty deep. I thought it might be, I was afraid it might be a memorial, but it's hard to see. But it is an Indian. Haha. This day gets better. On to the next. Well, it was kind of a jumpy signal, and then I opened the hole, and it sounds good. Let's see. Where'd it go? It's in the sidewall. That's where it went. Oh, look at all that dark staining. After a couple of good finds, now it's just an old green wheat penny, but hey, still old. On to the next. After that couple of good finds, now I'm thinking about doing a live dig, but you know how they're unlucky. On to the next. Well, this is that same hole, but I'm getting another signal after I put the plug back. Might be another wheat penny, but it was ringing a little lower. So fingers crossed for an Indian. Another Indian would always be good. And it is another wheat penny. On to the next. And another bullet. Lightly fired, I believe. It's got a little dent in the side. On to the next. And my second Indian of the day, I think. I mean, I know it's an Indian. I'll clean it up, you'll see it right here. Awesome. On to the... Well, I have a plug the size of Rhode Island. But sometimes when you get a bouncy signal, not quite clear where the signal's coming from. And then you get it, and it's just a crappy nut. Another brass nut. On to the next. Well, hopefully it's not another nut. Hopefully it's something better, but it's not. It's a nail. On to the next. Well, I find lots of spoons, but it's not very often that I find a fork. It's not old at all. Stainless steel. That's cool. Into the bag it goes. On to the next. Not sure what's here. Oh, just a wheat penny. On to the next. You know, I found some awesome things today. I can't be disappointed, and I'm not, but a little piece of silver would make it that much better. It'd be like the icing on the cake. Oh. And what did I just say? I knew it sounded good. Oh, it's a Merc. Awesome. I'm getting close to the end here. It's been an awesome day. I've got my silver now. I'm feeling happy. Whew, I'm tired too. It's getting late. But I'm not even done. I'll come back again. Well, an old leather rivet sounded really good in the hole. On to the next. Well, that's going to do it for today. What an awesome day. I've been here at least 4 times in the past, but the more you get to know your machine, the better tuned in you are, and the better you understand the settings, the more stuff you can find. Plus, you got to be willing to dig those iffy signals. Foil, pull tabs, all of it. You never know what you're going to find. Now, if you're in a park, I get it, but when you're in a historic area like this house from 1802, you got to dig everything. You never know. So what can I say? 3 bucket listers today. On to the next.